34-year-old David Martinez stood at the Family Feud podium with his shoulders slightly hunched and his hands clasped tightly in front of him, carrying the invisible weight of 3 years of sleepless nights, anxiety attacks, and the constant struggle to readjust to civilian life after 2 tours of duty in Iraq that had left him with severe PTSD and a profound disconnection from the world he had once known. David's presence on the show represented not just his personal journey of healing, but the daily reality of thousands of veterans who return home from combat with skills, experience, and dedication that should make them valuable assets to any organization, but who instead face unemployment, discrimination, and the challenge of translating military expertise into civilian career opportunities. Beside him stood 32-year-old Sarah Martinez, whose presence represented both David's greatest source of support and his deepest motivation to find a path forward from the trauma that had dominated their lives since his return from deployment. Sarah had watched the man she married transform from a confident, capable soldier into someone who struggled with crowds, unexpected sounds, and the basic social interactions that most people take for granted, while also witnessing his remarkable skill and dedication when he found activities that provided structure and purpose. When Steve Harvey asked the question that would touch the heart of David's entrepreneurial dreams and his desire to create meaningful work for himself and other veterans, the response came from a place of determination mixed with the frustration of facing obstacles that seemed insurmountable. What is your biggest dream that you're working toward? Starting my own veteran-owned construction business, David said, his voice carrying both conviction and the weight of repeated disappointments. I learned advanced construction and engineering skills during my military service, and I have the discipline and work ethic that comes from military training. But since I've been back, no one wants to hire a veteran with PTSD. They're concerned about liability, about whether I can handle stress, about whether I'll be reliable. I want to create a business where veterans like me can use our skills and have stable employment while also serving our communities through quality construction work. The Family Feud studio fell into the kind of thoughtful silence that comes when 300 people simultaneously recognize they are witnessing someone's honest assessment of the challenges facing American veterans in transitioning from military service to civilian careers. This wasn't just a game show answer, it was a veteran's confession about the systemic barriers that prevent skilled, dedicated service members from accessing the opportunities and recognition they deserve after sacrificing to serve their country. Steve Harvey felt his chest tighten with both admiration and frustration as he looked at David, understanding immediately that this man possessed the kind of leadership, technical skills, and work ethic that should make him an attractive candidate for employment or business partnership, but that he was facing prejudice and misunderstanding that prevented civilian employers from recognizing his value and potential. Let me take you back to how we got here. David Martinez had enlisted in the Army at 19, motivated by his family's tradition of military service. During his 8 years of active duty, he advanced rapidly through enlisted ranks, specializing in combat engineering that included construction, demolition, and complex problem-solving under extreme pressure. During 2 tours in Iraq, David built forward operating bases, repaired infrastructure, and constructed defensive positions. His work required technical expertise, project management, and team leadership, while managing budgets and timelines under constant threat of attack. But David's service also exposed him to traumatic experiences. His unit lost 2 team members to improvised explosive devices, and multiple firefights left lasting mental health impacts. When David returned in 2019, he expected his military experience and technical skills would make him attractive to civilian construction employers. Instead, he encountered disappointing interviews and rejections, with many employers seeming uncomfortable with his PTSD diagnosis. "They thank me for my service, but they won't hire me for work," David had told Sarah after a frustrating interview. "And they're worried about liability, about reliability, about bringing military attitude into civilian workplaces." The unemployment and rejection exacerbated David's PTSD symptoms, creating a cycle of depression and withdrawal. Without meaningful work, David struggled with anxiety and insomnia. Sarah recognized David's capabilities when he worked on home projects or helped friends with construction. This led to the idea of starting his own business. a way to use his skills without convincing skeptical employers. David developed a business plan for a veteran-owned construction company, specializing in residential and small commercial projects, while providing employment for other transitioning veterans. But securing startup capital proved challenging, as traditional lenders wanted civilian work history and questioned his ability to manage business stress with PTSD. The Family Feud opportunity had come through Sarah's workplace community outreach initiative. David had been reluctant to participate due to PTSD triggers from crowds and unpredictable environments, but saw it as a potential step toward rebuilding confidence. The Family Feud studios had been both challenging and energizing for David. The lights, sounds, and crowds initially triggered anxiety, but the structured format reminded him of military team dynamics he had valued. During the family introductions, David had presented himself with the combination of humility and pride that characterized his approach to discussing his military service and civilian challenges. "I'm David Martinez," he had said clearly. "I'm 34 years old, and I'm from Phoenix. I served 8 years in the Army as a combat engineer, including 2 deployments to Iraq. Since I've been back, I've been working on starting my own veteran-owned construction business because I believe veterans have valuable skills and experience that can benefit civilian employers and communities." The audience had responded with enthusiastic applause and several "thank you for your service" shouts that had both moved and embarrassed David, who had always been uncomfortable with public recognition of his military service. "David, thank you for your service to our country," Steve had said, with genuine warmth and respect. "Tell me more about this construction business you want to start." David had looked at Sarah, who had nodded encouragingly, then back at Steve. "Military engineers learn to build under the most challenging conditions imaginable. We work with limited resources, tight deadlines, and life-or-death pressure. Those skills translate perfectly to civilian construction, but many employers don't understand that. I want to start a company that proves veterans can deliver outstanding results, while also providing good jobs for other veterans who are facing similar challenges." Steve had been impressed by David's vision and determination, recognizing both the business opportunity and the social impact that David's concept represented. The game had progressed with David participating thoughtfully and demonstrating the analytical thinking and team leadership skills that had made him successful in the military. His responses showed both technical knowledge and strategic thinking, and his interactions with the other family members reflected the collaborative approach that effective military leadership requires. During the second round, when Steve asked for jobs that require leadership skills, David had buzzed in with military service, earning the #1 spot on the board and appreciative applause from audience members who recognized the leadership challenges that military service involves. But it was during the fourth round that the moment arrived that would potentially transform David's entrepreneurial journey and his path toward building the veteran-owned business he had been envisioning. Steve had announced the survey question with his usual energy, not knowing that he was about to ask something that would allow David to articulate his deepest professional aspiration and his vision for helping other veterans. "What is your biggest dream that you're working toward?" The question hung in the studio air, and for a veteran who had spent 3 years trying to translate his military expertise into civilian career opportunities while developing a business concept that could provide meaningful work for himself and other service members, the answer was both immediate and heartfelt. David had stepped up to the microphone with the confidence that comes from knowing exactly what you want to accomplish, but also with the vulnerability that comes from repeatedly being told that your qualifications and experience don't translate to civilian success. "Starting my own veteran-owned construction business," David had said, his voice carrying clearly across the studio. "I learned advanced construction and engineering skills during my military service, and I have the discipline and work ethic that comes from military training. But since I've been back, no one wants to hire a veteran with PTSD. They're concerned about liability, about whether I can handle stress, about whether I'll be reliable. I want to create a business where veterans like me can use our skills and have stable employment, while also serving our communities through quality construction work." The studio had fallen thoughtfully silent, and this wasn't just a game show answer. It was a veteran's honest assessment of the employment discrimination that many service members face when transitioning to civilian careers, spoken with the kind of expertise and determination that suggested both deep understanding of the challenges and genuine capability to overcome them. Steve Harvey slowly set down his index cards. Something in David's tone, a combination of professional competence, social awareness, and unwavering commitment to helping other veterans, told him that this was a moment requiring more than standard game show response. "David," Steve said gently, "it sounds like you have exactly the kind of skills and experience that construction companies should want. What's preventing you from getting the opportunities you deserve?" David looked at Sarah, who was listening with the understanding that comes from witnessing someone struggle with discrimination and systemic barriers, then back at Steve. "I think many civilian employers don't understand how military experience translates to their work environment. They hear PTSD and think unreliable or dangerous, when the reality is that military training teaches you to perform under pressure, follow safety protocols, and deliver results even in challenging conditions." But what happened next was something that no one in the studio, not David, not Sarah, not Steve himself, could have anticipated. From backstage emerged a man whose presence immediately changed the energy of the entire studio. Donald Trump, the former president and successful businessman, whose experience in construction and real estate had made him one of America's most recognizable entrepreneurs, walked onto the Family Feud stage with the confidence of someone who understood exactly why he needed to be there and what he needed to say. "Excuse me," Trump said, approaching David with a serious but warm expression. "Did I just hear a decorated veteran say he can't get the opportunity to use his skills because employers don't understand military service?" David stared at Donald Trump, immediately recognizing him, but struggling to understand why a former president and major businessman was addressing him on national television. "Mr. President," David said, his voice filled with respect and confusion. "Yes, sir. That's exactly what I said." "David," Trump said, his voice carrying the authority and directness that had characterized his business and political careers, "I've built construction projects all over the world, and I can tell you that military engineers are among the most capable, reliable, and innovative people in the construction industry. The fact that you're having trouble getting opportunities isn't a reflection of your abilities, it's a reflection of people who don't understand what military service teaches you." The audience was immediately captivated, understanding that they were witnessing something special, a successful businessman recognizing and validating the expertise of a veteran who had been overlooked by traditional employers. "But more than that," Trump continued, "veterans like you represent exactly the kind of American entrepreneurship and leadership that built this country. Starting your own business isn't just good for you, it's good for other veterans, good for your community, and good for America." David felt his throat tighten as he listened to Donald Trump speak about his military service and business aspirations with the kind of respect and understanding that he had been hoping to find from civilian leaders and potential business partners. "I have experience in construction and real estate development," Trump said. "I know what it takes to build successful businesses in this industry, and I know that military training gives you advantages that most civilian contractors will never have." What happened next was one of the most significant moments in Family Feud history. Donald Trump made an offer that addressed exactly what David had been struggling to find: recognition of his capabilities and support for his entrepreneurial vision. "David," Trump said, "I want to help you start this veteran-owned construction business, not just with advice, but with actual startup capital and business mentorship. Veterans deserve opportunities to succeed as entrepreneurs, and America needs more businesses that are owned and operated by people who understand service, sacrifice, and commitment to excellence." David's face showed complete disbelief and overwhelming gratitude as he processed what Donald Trump was offering him. "Are you serious, Mr. President?" David asked. "You want to help me start my construction business?" "David," Trump replied, "I'm completely serious. You have exactly the kind of background, skills, and vision that makes successful entrepreneurs. The only thing you've been missing is someone who understands your value and is willing to invest in your success. Consider that problem solved." Sarah was crying openly, watching her husband receive the recognition and opportunity that she had always believed he deserved, but had wondered if he would ever receive. "But there's more," Trump continued. "I also want to help you create a model that other veterans can follow. If your business is successful, and I believe it will be, we can use it as an example to encourage other veterans to pursue entrepreneurship and to show civilian investors that veteran-owned businesses represent excellent investment opportunities." Steve Harvey then did something that would become one of the most inspiring moments in Family Feud history. He removed his suit jacket, his lucky jacket that he wore to every taping, and approached David. "David," Steve said, his voice thick with emotion, "this jacket has been with me for every show I've hosted, but today it belongs with someone who just proved that American veterans deserve not just our thanks, but our investment in their success and their dreams." He placed the jacket around David's shoulders. "You wear this to remember that your military service wasn't the end of your contribution to America. It was the beginning. The skills, leadership, and integrity you developed in the Army are exactly what you need to build a successful business that serves your community and provides opportunities for other veterans." David pulled Donald Trump into a firm handshake that became a brief but meaningful hug, then looked directly at Sarah, who was beaming with pride and relief. "This is for all the veterans who just need someone to give them a chance," David said, "and for Sarah, who never stopped believing that my military service was valuable preparation for civilian success." The studio erupted in applause. That wasn't just appreciation for entertainment, but recognition of something profound about supporting veterans: the importance of entrepreneurship in creating opportunities, and the power of successful business leaders to recognize and develop talent that has been overlooked by traditional systems. What happened after the cameras stopped rolling became a story of veteran entrepreneurship, successful business development, and the creation of a model that inspired other veterans to pursue business ownership as a path to meaningful civilian careers. Donald Trump kept his promise, providing David with both startup capital and ongoing business mentorship that helped him navigate the complex process of launching and growing a construction company. Trump's involvement also provided David with credibility and connections that opened doors that had previously been closed to him as an unknown veteran entrepreneur. 6 months after his Family Feud appearance, David had successfully launched Martinez Construction, a veteran-owned company that specialized in residential and small commercial projects, while also providing employment and training opportunities for other veterans transitioning to civilian careers. The business had been successful beyond David's initial projections, partly because of the quality and reliability that military training had instilled in David and his veteran employees, but also because many customers specifically sought out veteran-owned businesses for their construction needs once they learned about the company's mission and background. Donald Trump had remained involved as both a mentor and an advocate for David's business, providing guidance on business development, financial management, and strategic planning. Their relationship had become a model for how successful business leaders could support veteran entrepreneurship through mentorship, investment, and ongoing collaboration. 3 years later, David had grown Martinez Construction into one of the most respected construction companies in the Phoenix area, employing 12 veterans and earning recognition for both the quality of their work and their commitment to hiring and training military veterans. The episode became one of the most watched and shared in Family Feud history, sparking conversations about veteran unemployment, the value of military experience in civilian careers, and the role that entrepreneurship can play in creating opportunities for people who face discrimination in traditional employment markets. The lesson that David taught that day extends far beyond veteran issues or business development. He reminded the world that expertise and capabilities exist in unexpected places, that people who face discrimination in traditional systems can often succeed when given the opportunity to create their own paths, and that successful entrepreneurs have a responsibility to recognize and develop talent that has been overlooked by conventional institutions. Steve Harvey learned that day that the most powerful moments in television happen when you celebrate not just individual success, but the courage to pursue dreams despite facing systematic obstacles and rejection. Donald Trump learned that supporting veteran entrepreneurs represents not just good business, but an investment in the kind of leadership and innovation that strengthens communities and creates opportunities for others who face similar challenges. Because that's what military service looks like when it's properly valued, not just appreciation for past sacrifice, but investment in future contribution and recognition that veterans bring unique capabilities to civilian careers and business ownership. That's what entrepreneurship sounds like when it's motivated by service, not just personal success, but the creation of opportunities for others who face similar obstacles. And that's what happens when a veteran's determination meets a successful businessman's recognition and proves that military training provides exactly the kind of leadership, technical skills, and commitment to excellence that civilian employers and investors should be eager to support and develop.